Hey, very good afternoon to traders. Which markets should you be trading? Which markets should you be spread betting? What are popular trading markets? Great question. If you're new to spread betting, or if you've been spread betting a while and you think you want to diversify a little bit and you want to change, what you're trading, perhaps the market you're trading's gone a bit quiet, looking for some volatility. Where do you go to? You want a market that's moving. If you're scalping or even if you're swing trading, we can't make money unless the market is moving. Even if you are trading a mean reversion strategy, you still need some sort of movement. So these are the popular ones that people generally trade, and that doesn't necessarily mean you have to trade these, but perhaps you can look at them and decide, especially from a spread betting perspective, the spreads are tight on these, they're reasonably active, and so having these on a watch list and maybe just keeping an eye on a daily chart perspective just gives you a little bit of a heads up, and if they start moving, maybe you can focus on them. So the usual big four currencies, you've got the US dollar, yen, a cable, a pound US dollar, euro US dollar, Aussie US dollar, hundreds more. Obviously you've got plenty more, and those are just literally four that I've picked. If you're into currencies, you're going to know which ones are moving, and very easy to filter for that. Some commodities which are good to trade. Crude oil was very kind to me about 6 years ago. It was one of my exclusive markets, traded for about 6 months solid, nothing but crude oil. Not so much at the moment, but a great market to trade when it's in play. So crude oil, gold. Again, gold, we had that little spell, didn't we, where it just went nuts for a time being. Now it's calmed down a bit, but that will come back into play. Worth watching. Wheat, one of those soft commodities that's worth watching when that gets going, that really gets going. And silver is kind of gold on crack, I call it, because because of the contract size and because of liquidity, that thing really does move. So those are worth watching. I've got those on my watch list generally. Obviously, indices, FTSE 100, we know that. DAX is the German stock exchange, Dow, Nasdaq 100, and Nikkei 225 is the Japanese. FTSE to me is a little bit of a dull version of the DAX. DAX is a kind of a hyper version of the FTSE. I really like trading the DAX. The spreads are tight on most providers, and it's very good for my style of trading. It may not suit you, but generally speaking, it tends to flush through levels, and I'm quite like that. I'm quite good at getting the extreme levels. Dow has calmed down a bit in the recent days, but it's a little bit more predictable in terms of a timing of movements and stuff. A few more videos on that previously. Because it's such a big 30 big ships, if you like, it doesn't move so volatile with as much volatility, excuse me. So it's one to watch, but when it does pick up in action, then it is a good trading vehicle, and then again the spread's nice and tight on that. Nasdaq, tech is the big thing at the moment, and when you get the earnings for some of those big weighted stocks, then that thing does move. Well worth watching that. And if you fancy being up in the middle of the night trading the cash hours, or perhaps your work dictates that you do that, or perhaps you just prefer to be trading that for your own personal hours, this is a good one to watch. Japanese market does move a lot. Spread's a little bit wide for most spread betting firms, but it does move quite aggressively, so that can overcome the spread. Moving on to stocks and shares, you've got the big ones like Tesco's, Vodafone, and Lloyd's. Personally, I'm not a UK share fan for day trading. Used to trade them very, very actively direct, but not so much anymore. I prefer the US shares. I think they move more actively. 4 or 5% moves in a day is not unusual for the likes of Apple, Facebook, Netflix, Twitter, Tesla. Perhaps I'll do another video having a big watch list on all those, but they're great to spread bet. Companies like Tesla and Facebook, they move so much, and the spread's nice and tight for spread betting companies. So they are good ones to watch. Let's get rid of this drawing pen. Okay, so when can you trade these? So currencies, we can trade them 24/5, Euro, US session, Asia. Basically what happens is, briefly, is you've got the London time and it'll be active there, and then they'll move over to the New York time. There's a bit of a crossover, obviously, when New York opens start waking up at 1 o'clock UK time, all the way through to end of business 5 o'clock. Then you've got the Asia crossover section, then the UK comes in. So it's that 24/5 rolling, following the sun around the world. So there's always some liquidity there, always something going on, whatever pair you choose to trade. UK exchange. Now, the FTSE opens at 8 a.m. UK time. That is the stock exchange. So basically, when the stocks start trading, that's when you really want to be trading the FTSE futures, or the DAX futures, or the Dow futures, or you want to be spread betting them when they're just a synthetic future. So you want to be trading them when the actual underlying stock market opens. So 8 a.m. UK time, 8 a.m. UK time is the DAX, because it's 9 o'clock German time, and they're an hour ahead, obviously, and that's for other EU as well. And it's the same. So anything in Europe, 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. is a nice window to trade those indices: FTSE, DAX, CAC, SMI, any of those kind of things. US markets, the US stock exchange opens at 2:30, closes at 9 o'clock UK time. That gives you your Dow, your Nasdaq, your S&P 500. S&P 500 for spread betting, I find the spread, personally speaking, I find the spread a little bit wide for day trading. I think the Dow is a better vehicle. I think if you're trading the ES, you're better going on the exchange because of getting filled on the bid on the offer, and you kind of then you lose the benefits of spread betting. So Dow, Nasdaq, personally, it's my personal favourites, and then I've got the Russell as well. So that's the best time, personally, is again, the best time to trade them is when the actual stocks are open. You can trade them most of the time, 24 hours a day, Monday to Friday. I think the Dow, most spread betting firms, is quoted overnight, as is the Nasdaq, so you can take a position in the middle of the night if you so wish. But of course, it's just after hours then trading, and not getting that little extra oomph that you get from how it matches the stocks. So as I say, the main volume is present when the underlying exchange is open. So there you go, a few options to trade, some currencies, some indices, some stocks and shares to look at. Plenty of time, something for everybody all throughout the day, all throughout the night. Pick the one that suits your personality, your style, and your trading strategy.